The United States is being run by a person who has never read the Constitution. And I know I am not the only soul who thinks we need to change the way we teach history. I memorized the performance piece by The Doors titled Celebration of the Lizard during my senior year in high school. I used to recite the lyrics in art class for Yvette G and Diane S. Yet I had no interest in committing the dates of historic events to memory in my social studies class. The word historic has the sense of uniqueness. A historic event is one that stands out as having had a significant history-changing impact. Japan's surprise aerial attack on the United States naval base at Pearl Harbor was historic because the American people came together, grew stronger, and became one United States. The Battle of the Bulge was historic because it was Hitler's last significant offensive operation. This battle almost certainly shortened the war because the German forces sent to the West were essentially wiped out, leaving Hitler less able to deal with the overpowering Soviet forces to the east. If I had rolled around in these happenings like they were mud, versus deploying rote learning techniques to memorize their dates and summaries for social studies pop quizzes, I would have excelled in K through 12 social studies classes. In addition, like the soft, sticky blend of earth and water, these affairs would have been difficult to wash off my skin. My life could have taken a different turn if I got this dirty. I may have abandoned art and made it my mission to stir history into people's lives versus letting it blow away, only to accumulate into a miscellaneous collection of forgotten memories. Prior to higher education, the most striking interaction I had with history was watching the documentary film Night and Fog in Eamon Coughlin's 12th grade English class. Night and Fog is one of the first cinematic reflections on the Holocaust. It juxtaposes the stillness of the abandoned buildings on the grounds of Auschwitz and Majdanek with grisly wartime footage. I relive scenes from this film every day. Cloth made from women's hair, drawings rendered on human skin, and wooden vats filled with human heads. Helter Skelter is a 1974 book by Vincent, Bugliosi, and Curt Gentry. What drove me to read a book about madman Charles Manson's orchestration of a killing spree? Because when the television film of the same name came out in 1976, I overheard my classmate Lisa Q discussing it with friends, became interested in the subject, and respectfully asked her about it. She turned her head to the right, made eye contact, and said I wasn't old enough to handle it. This annoyed me no end, because Lisa Q and I were the same age. My anger over the fact that she would underhandedly insult me in front of our peers transformed my study of the Tate LaBianca murders into a hazing ritual to prove I had already made my rite of passage into the adult population. 6 years later, I gained a used copy of the book and began reading it. I didn't complete it until my first or second year in college because the vicious nature of the murders deeply disturbed me, and I could only process small portions of the manuscript at one time. Some fellow students carried around a dictionary, and I lugged around Helter Skelter. I developed PTSD while reading the book and recall one of its horrors in the presence of any form of a kitchen fork. Why? Patricia Krenwinkel gave Leno LaBianca 14 puncture wounds with an ivory-handled, two-tined carving fork, which she left jutting out of his stomach. The Holocaust and the Tate LaBianca murders are my shadow. It is their job to bring me pain, and it is this emotional response to such historic events that drives my need to learn and better understand our past. But am I successful at taking pain caused from such knowledge and turning it into works that move people to think or rethink these historic maladies of different magnitudes? My mom once advised me to paint a flower. Later that day, I came home with a colorful depiction of the detonation of the first atomic bomb in the shape of a daisy. The painting hangs in the home of my friend Amy C.